Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Matt and this is What Matters to Matt, and this is going to be a hard video for me to make. Now, if you haven't been following my channel and after hearing this, or even right now, because it is free to you, if you do want to consider subscribing, if you think there's something that I have to offer, please go ahead and do so and hit that bell notification. It motivates me so much to see that other people out there are interested in hearing what I have to say. I'm currently training for a marathon. Fingers crossed, training for a marathon, and we'll get into that in a couple of minutes, but I'm currently training for a marathon and I share sort of my experiences through that training and just trying to be the best that I can be for the most important thing in my life, which is my family. And also I do the odd shoe review. But why are we here today? First off, I want to say that I haven't really scripted this video. I've thought a lot about what I wanted to say, but I haven't scripted it like I normally would. So this is going to be a little bit off the cuff. Hopefully it turned out well. Hopefully you get something from this, and hopefully it's an opportunity for me to be 100% honest with you on how things are going, and 100% honest with you on how we're going to move forward with this channel and with my training. All right, so one thing you might have noticed over the last few weeks, I have not actually put out a Garmin marathon training update video. I did that for the first couple of weeks on the plan, the first 3 weeks, but it actually has been a few weeks now since I haven't put out that video. I'm actually on week 8 of that plan right now, and week 4 went well. Nothing really to say other than the week kind of rolled on and I was getting more fit. Week 5 also went really well. Nothing really important to say until the end of week 5. And this is where this video becomes such an important thing for me to talk about. And before we get into this and the following couple of weeks, stick to the plan. If you've dedicated yourself to a plan, to a marathon training plan or a training plan at any distance, whatever you happen to do, stick to the plan. Okay, so what happened at the end of week 5? Well, week 5, day 6 for me on the plan, which would have been my Friday, I actually slipped and fell on some ice.
This is where I fell last week, on this ice, but there was snow on top of that and I couldn't see it, so.
Some snow and banged my knee up a little bit, and that had me with a sore knee that had me not actually do my long run on Saturday. I woke up Saturday, did the traditional normal thing, had my breakfast that I would eat, my bagel, my peanut butter, my banana, all that stuff, and did a little bit of a warm up and just decided that, you know what, it was much better. Training had been going so well up to that point that I actually took that day off. So I went ahead and took that day off and missed my first long run, which to me, probably the most important run of the week. When you're in marathon training, it all counts, but the long run, both physically and mentally, just kind of has a certain level of importance for me. So it was a big deal for me to decide not to do that, but I wanted to make sure that I was going to be healthy through this training block. All right, so week 6 was really pretty interesting for me because week 6, by the time I took that one day off, when I woke up the next morning, which would be day 1, week 6, I felt pretty good, actually. I felt like it was a good time to go out and do that first recovery run of the week. I went out and did that run. The next day, I actually, and if you've watched my channel, I did a review not that long ago on the Adios Pro 3, and the first run, the run that I did and that I used for that video, is actually the run that I did week 6, day 2. I had 2 runs on that day. One of those runs happened to be a threshold run, and I was in a new shoe and I was really excited. It was actually the first super shoe that I had been running in, and I got a little bit, I pushed the pace a little bit. I actually took the workout a little bit beyond threshold.
Okay, minute and a half rest and then cool down way above threshold there. Look at that back at the office.
This is the first part of this video where I'm talking about that stick to the plan that you need to pay attention to, or that I need to pay attention to. Of course, I'm no expert, I'm no coach, I'm just sharing my experiences. That's what I think some people in here connect most with me on this channel is, but I didn't stick to the plan. I pushed a little bit harder, got excited about the new shoe, actually ended up with a 5K and 10K PR within that threshold session. So clearly pushing harder than what my threshold pace was. And but at the end of that workout felt really good. Later on in that week, just 2 days later, I had my second workout of the week. All right, hi everybody. This afternoon we've got an interval session. We are in week 6 of the Garmin Advanced Marathon Training Plan, day number 4. I am pretty tight from earlier in the week. Now this workout was going to be another little bit of an interval session. I think I had about a 10-minute warm-up and then 10 minutes at threshold pace, and then 5 times 3 minutes at threshold and then 1 minute off, and then a cool down. That was the workout. What actually happened on that day was I started that 10-minute warm-up, then I did a 10-minute threshold. At that time, I actually ran into a local running group, and that group was, I hadn't had the chance to run with them before, and I got pretty excited to see them. One of the reasons why I hadn't thought of running with them before was just that I felt like I wasn't quite at their level. Not that I was embarrassed, maybe a little bit embarrassed about my own pace, that I wasn't really at their level to actually run with them. And turns out, during that run, I asked them what they were doing. I stopped partway through my threshold session, and they were just getting into their warm-up, and they were doing 15 times 3 minutes on, 1 minute off. I think that's right, somewhere around there. 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, and they were doing that 15 times, and then with a cool down. Now, I just decided that I'd go on that run with them, and keep in mind this is 2 days after I actually pushed myself a little bit too hard in that previous workout, harder than what was intended, and I had already started another threshold workout that day that I cut short so that I could go run with them. And when we ran those 15 times 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, might have been 2 minutes on. Anyways, when we ran that workout, I actually pushed the pace and kept up with the front of the pack. There were several people, probably about 50 people within this group, and they were running various paces. Again, I pushed faster than what the workout was intended. Even for them, the outline of the workout was you should feel like half marathon to 10K pace on those on portions of the workout. And I found myself running at 4 minutes a kilometer. Now that, for some people, that's gonna sound really fast. For others, that's gonna sound maybe a little bit slow, but for me, that was fast. That was way beyond anything that I'm at in terms of half marathon, and really pushing 10K pace. So again, did that workout, pushed harder than I probably should have. Keep in mind, at the end of that, again, I felt pretty good. Awesome run, super pumped about that. Probably gonna have to head home, get showered, and then take my daughter to the gym, because I imagine she's got a little bit of a run to go on too, but we'll see. All right, gonna go home and eat and rest. That's the end of running for today. See you guys tomorrow. So the rest of the week after that workout, did the rest of my workouts for the week, and I don't feel like it makes sense or it means much to go through what the rest of those runs were. I think I ended up for the week at about 86, I'll put it up here on the screen, 86, 87 kilometers for the week. And that included a 25 kilometer long run that went really well. But week 7 was where I actually started to feel week 6. Now here's the thing. We're into week 7, and I wasn't feeling horrible. I was certainly starting to feel a little bit tired. I was definitely feeling week 6, but I started off week 7, really good recovery run. Sunday, first day of my training week, did a little bit of recovery run. Tuesday, I had an off day. Wednesday, I actually did a recovery run and a threshold run. And mind you, this is where I could feel that things were already starting to come apart a little bit, because both of those runs were meant to be on Monday. I had shifted them a day, and those went well. Actually, paces kept up pretty well. And then on Wednesday, I was actually supposed to do another easy recovery run. And my daughter, who's training for her first 10K, had 11.3, 11 and a half kilometers that she had to run on her plan. And she was really excited to do that. So I went out and ran that with her. There are days in running that I love. And today is one of those days. Fastest and furthest Zoe has ever gone. Fastest 10K, furthest she's ever gone. We went at, I think, about a 5:28 per kilometer pace overall for 11.32 kilometers.
Zoe, fist bump. So proud of you.
Thank you.
And this was the first indication that things were not going super, super well for me, because on that run, even though it didn't start to hurt really bad, I was starting to feel something in my left calf. Okay, so then Thursday came the next day and I felt doing a recovery run made sense. So I did another 5K recovery run, which again was off plan, but I think this one made a little bit of sense because oftentimes short recovery runs, as long as I run them easy enough, are perfectly fine. All right, so then we're on Friday, week 7, which is day 6. I know that's all very confusing. Dates don't necessarily really matter, other than with the theme that I didn't necessarily keep on track with what the purpose or what my plan was telling me to do. Friday, I was supposed to have 2 runs, 1 short recovery run in the morning, and then a steady run in the afternoon. For some reason, instead of doing a half-hour recovery run, I did a little bit under an hour. So I did a 10K recovery run on Friday morning, which really destroyed me, and I was unable to actually run the steady run in the afternoon. I called it for the day. I thought it was the wise thing to do. All right, so Saturday, week 7, day 7 for me was a long run day, and I had a 2.5-hour run planned for that day. I think it was 2 hours and 15 minutes plus a cool down, so around 2.5 hours. And when I woke up that morning, I was overly optimistic, I think, at that point, because I did actually get up that morning, have my normal breakfast again, just a bagel, peanut butter and bananas, and had some electrolytes, had some Gatorade, and got myself ready a couple hours before I was going to do the run. Then my daughter, my son, and my wife were doing a little bit of a couch to 5K run. It was a run as a training plan that my wife's currently on to get herself ready for a 5K, and my daughter's been helping her along with this. And I went out there with them, and we did, I think we did about 5K run walk sort of within that run, and we did that really at a slow pace. And it was at that point, the stopping and starting, that I realized that what I had done over the last couple of weeks and how I had stepped off my training plan, and probably mostly if I rewind back to the 2 workouts that I did early in week 6, really set me up for where we're at today. Where we're at today is that we are actually almost at the end of week 8 at the time that I'm filming this video. Week 8 of the 16-week training plan to the marathon that I have coming up in May. And I have only run 22 kilometers so far this week. And tomorrow is the 7th day of the 8th week. And it's supposed to be a long run. But that 22 kilometers, now I have done a little bit over an hour, a couple of half-hour sessions on an elliptical and a half-hour on an exercise bike at the gym. And I have done a couple of weightlifting sessions, which I normally do anyways. That doesn't really put any pressure on my legs. No leg work, but weightlifting upper body stuff. So I have done some work, but I've dialed the running way back. And most of that came from my experience with marathon training. I've only been doing this for a couple of years, but mostly I can tell when I've got a little bit of a niggle that day over day, as long as it's not getting worse, when I catch up and I do have a recovery day, when I have some easy days, it starts to feel a little bit better. This injury that I've had going on, or this, it's hard to call it an injury because that makes me think that I'm gonna have to take some more time off. But this, whatever's going on just in my calf, my Achilles, in my left leg has not gone away. And every time that I've gone out for a run, in those 22 kilometers that I've run so far this week, I've ran 5 kilometers on a treadmill, which wasn't too bad. And then I did about 8 kilometers easy outside, which leaves me with, what's that? 8 or 9 kilometers, 10 kilometers. I'm a teacher. You'd think my math would be a little bit better, but it leaves me with a 3rd run that I also did on a treadmill that was a little bit of a steady run. But when I did that 8 kilometers outside, that's when I could really feel it, because that was the first time during this training block when I felt it necessary to shut things down, to stop running before I even got back to my car. I had about 1.5 kilometers left to my car. The pain was starting getting to a point where it was just not too much to keep running, but too much for it to make any sense to keep running. And so I shut it down and I limped/walked slowly back to the car. All right, so I can't remember if I said this at the first of this video. I know this is a little bit different scenery than what you're used to, and welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my living room. I just wanted to get out of the normal office where I normally film this video. I'm kind of almost thinking of a lot of this as a fresh start. Now my leg, how's it feeling? Pretty good, but not 100%. Now, when you're through marathon training, there's lots of days I think it's hard to argue that you're going to feel 100%, but I've learned to know my body well enough when I'm just not quite ready to start pushing it again, and I'm at that point. So this afternoon, I'm on day 6. I've gone off the Garmin marathon training plan a bit. I'm going to go to the gym. I might step on the treadmill just to see where I'm at. I'm feeling it out day by day, mostly by getting up, doing some warm up and some quick stretches and just seeing where I'm at on the day and deciding whether I want to run. I am going to get back on that plan. I think that plan has worked really well for me in the past, and I think it can work well, but the key again is sticking to the plan. For those of you that have been watching my videos and are subscribed to my channel, just know I thank you from the bottom of my heart, truly, with all the support that you've given me. It does help motivate me to keep pushing, to keep looking forward, to keep seeing what I can do to be the best that I can be, because ultimately that's what it's all about for me. I love sharing everything that I'm doing with you guys. I love all the motivation that I'm able to give some of you, and I love all the motivation that I get from you. Ultimately for me, it's all about, and I've said it in so many more of my videos, it's all about being the best that I can be for the most important thing in my life, which is my family. Now, the last thing that I'm gonna say is that if you want to see more on my plan going forward, you are gonna have to stick around. You are gonna have to keep an eye on my videos, because probably in the next couple of days, once I wrap my head around exactly where I'm at and what I plan on doing for the next 8+ a day weeks that I have until that marathon, I'm gonna be doing a video. So that's gonna come up here very shortly. So you're gonna need to stick around to see that one. My name is Matt. This has been What Matters to Matt. And what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be